Monday morning began with rain. Heavy clouds covered Columbus, and Detective Rachel Monroe stood in front of the victim board, staring at 8 smiling faces. 8 women. 15 years. 8 families destroyed. And 1 man. Somewhere. Watching. Waiting. Planning. Officer Daniel Hayes entered carrying coffee. "You slept here again, didn't you?" Rachel smiled. 3 hours on the couch counts as sleep. Daniel handed her a cup. "You know, one day your back is going to sue you." Rachel laughed softly, but her mind remained elsewhere, because something had bothered her all night. A thought she couldn't shake. Their suspect was organized, disciplined, patient, but no one stayed inactive forever. Eventually, patterns repeated, needs returned, and people made mistakes. "What if he's preparing again?" she asked. Daniel frowned. "For another victim?" Rachel nodded. He waited 6 years before Lauren. And before that, 6 years. Daniel sat down. "So maybe we've got time?" Rachel shook her head. "Or maybe we don't." 3 miles away, 28-year-old Claire Reynolds unlocked the doors of Harper Books, a small independent bookstore she managed downtown. She loved quiet mornings, coffee, books, rain tapping against the windows. Simple things. Customers knew her by name. Friends described her as kind, independent, hardworking. Exactly the sort of woman Detective Monroe feared their suspect preferred. But Claire knew none of that. She simply enjoyed her peaceful life. At noon, she called her mother. "Still coming Sunday?" her mother asked. "Of course. Don't work too hard." "No promises." Her mother laughed. "You sound just like your father." Claire smiled. "I hope that's a compliment." Neither woman realized how precious ordinary conversations could become. Meanwhile, Ethan Mercer sat inside his truck. Rainwater slid down the windshield. His hands rested on the steering wheel. Still, motionless. His breathing calm. But inside, chaos churned. He hadn't slept well in days. Television reports. Newspaper articles. Detectives. Connections. Questions. Questions everywhere. He hated questions. Questions ruined everything. His phone rang. Emily Carter. Ethan answered. "Morning." "Hey, Ethan." "Jacob's truck is making weird noises again." He smiled automatically. "Bring it by." "Thanks. You're the best." The best. Everyone said that. And everyone believed it. For 15 years, belief had protected him. But lately belief felt fragile, like glass. And glass eventually broke. At headquarters, Rachel spread photographs across the table. Daniel frowned. "What are we looking for?" "Behavior." "Meaning, people evolve." She pointed at the dates. "Our guy changes locations. He changes methods. He changes timing. But he keeps choosing the same type." Daniel nodded. "So?" Rachel sighed. "I don't know." "That's encouraging." She smiled. "But I know one thing." "What?" "He thinks he's smarter than everyone." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Most serial offenders do. And eventually, they get arrogant." Rachel nodded. "Exactly. Arrogance. Confidence. Overconfidence. Those things destroyed careful people. And somewhere out there, a man who had escaped for 15 years might finally believe he was untouchable." That evening, Emily Carter dropped off Jacob's truck. Ethan opened the hood. "Alternator." Jacob groaned. "Sounds expensive." Ethan laughed. "I'll give you the friends and neighbors discount." Emily smiled. "We owe you dinner." "No need." "Too late." Jacob pointed a finger. "No arguments." As Ethan smiled, Emily noticed something strange. He looked tired, really tired, dark circles beneath his eyes. His smile seemed forced. "You okay?" she asked. Ethan blinked. "You look exhausted." He chuckled. "Busy week." "Getting enough sleep?" "Probably not." Emily nodded. "Nothing unusual. Everyone got tired. Everyone had stressful weeks." Still, for reasons she couldn't explain, she felt concerned. Not afraid, just concerned. Because Ethan Mercer had always seemed steady, solid, unshakable. And now, Something felt different. Across town, Claire Reynolds closed the bookstore and headed toward her apartment. She stopped at a grocery store, bought coffee, milk, frozen pizza, ordinary things, completely unaware that someone stood 2 aisles away, watching, not staring, not following too closely, just observing, patiently, quietly, like a hunter studying patterns, learning routines, learning habits. And when Claire left, the stranger left too, maintaining distance, invisible, unnoticed. Tuesday morning brought another lead. Daniel burst into Rachel's office. "We've got surveillance footage." Rachel nearly jumped. "From Lauren's case?"
No.
Melissa Harper. Her eyes widened. 6 years old. Gas station camera. "Anything useful?" Daniel grimaced.
Depends.
He played the video. The quality was terrible. Blurry. Grainy. Almost useless. Cars came and went. People moved across the screen. Then Rachel froze. "Stop." Daniel paused. "What?" "There." A pickup truck. Dark-colored. Older model. Nothing remarkable. Nothing memorable. But something about it felt important. Daniel frowned. "Could be anybody." Rachel nodded. "It probably is." Still, she wrote down the make and model, because after 6 years, she had learned something. No detail was too small. Back in Willow Creek, Ethan returned home just before sunset. As he pulled into his driveway, he noticed Emily gardening.
She waved.
He waved back. Simple, normal, safe. Yet something caught his attention. Max, Emily's golden retriever, sat beside her. Watching. Dogs watched people differently. They noticed things humans missed. Max's eyes remained fixed on Ethan.
Not barking.
Not growling. Just watching. For several seconds, neither moved. Then Max suddenly barked. Emily laughed. "He's being weird today." Ethan forced a smile.
Dogs.
He never liked dogs. Never trusted them. Animals sense things. And sensing things created problems. Late that night, Rachel Monroe sat alone studying victim profiles. Coffee had long gone cold. Rain tapped against the windows. And then, something clicked. Her eyes widened. No way. She grabbed a file, then another, and another. Daniel, half asleep on the couch, looked up. What? Rachel's heartbeat quickened. The birthdays. Huh. The victims. Daniel blinked. What about them? She spread out 8 driver's license photos. Birth dates. Months.
Years.
Then suddenly Daniel understood. Oh my God. Every victim had disappeared within 3 weeks of their birthdays. Not the same date. Not the same month. But close. Very close. Rachel stared at the files.
Why?
Daniel shook his head. I don't know. Neither did she. But one thing had become painfully clear. Their killer wasn't random. He had rituals, rules, patterns. And patterns could be predicted. Rachel looked at the calendar. Then at another file. Her blood ran cold. Daniel. What? She swallowed hard. Find every brunette woman between 26 and 32 living near Columbus whose birthday is coming up. Daniel stared. You think? I think if we move fast enough. She looked at the photographs. We might stop him. Across the city, Claire Reynolds unlocked the door to her apartment. She stepped inside, set down her groceries, turned on the lights, and smiled. Tomorrow was her birthday. 29 years old. Her parents were coming on Sunday. Her best friend had planned dinner Friday night. Life was good, normal,
happy.
She had no idea that somewhere in the darkness, someone already knew. And for the first time in 15 years, a hunter and the people hunting him were moving toward the same destination. Neither side realized it yet, but the clock had started, and time was running out. By sunrise on Wednesday, Detective Rachel Monroe had already consumed 3 cups of coffee and covered half the conference room wall with notes. Officer Daniel Hayes looked exhausted. Tell me we're not actually going to investigate every brunette in Ohio. Rachel almost smiled. Not Ohio. That's comforting. just Central Ohio. Daniel groaned. Much better. Despite the joke, both detectives understood the seriousness of the situation. For years they had been reacting. Now, for the first time, they had a chance to get ahead. If Rachel's theory was right, and if it wasn't, they would be chasing ghosts again. Claire Reynolds woke up smiling. 29 years old. She checked her phone. 32 text messages. Birthday wishes. Photographs. Family messages. Her mother had sent 6 heart emojis before 8 in the morning. Claire laughed. Some things never changed. She showered, got dressed, and headed to Harper Books. To everyone around her, it was just another birthday. Nothing special. Nothing dangerous. Nothing unusual. Meanwhile, Ethan Mercer sat alone in his kitchen. Coffee untouched. Newspaper unopened. He hadn't slept. Again. For 15 years, routines had given him comfort. But now his thoughts felt noisy. Restless. The television stayed off. He avoided the news. Avoided questions. Avoided everything. Still, one thought continued returning.
Control.
He needed control. Without control, chaos. And chaos terrified him. His phone buzzed. Jacob Carter. Morning, buddy. Morning. Truck sounds great. Glad to hear it. We still owe you dinner. Ethan smiled automatically.
No worries.
After the call ended, he stared through the window. Across the street, Max the dog sat beside Emily. Watching. Again. The dog barked. Ethan frowned. He hated that dog. By noon, Rachel and Daniel had identified 38 women who matched the victim profile. Single. Successful. Brunette. Age 26 to 32. Upcoming birthdays. Daniel stared at the list. 38. Rachel nodded. Too many. We can't watch 38 people.
No.
So, what do we do? Rachel looked at the board. We narrow it down.
How?
She sighed. Figure out what we're missing. Because something was missing. Something important. Something hiding in plain sight. Across town, Claire celebrated her birthday with coworkers.
Cake.
Balloons. Laughter. Her best friend, Amanda, handed her a small gift bag. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. Claire smiled. You're terrible. And you're old. 29 isn't old. Amanda laughed. Keep telling yourself that. Everyone laughed. Everyone enjoyed the moment. No one noticed the dark pickup truck parked across the street. No one paid attention. Because ordinary vehicles were invisible. Ordinary people were invisible. And invisible things were dangerous. Back at headquarters, Rachel studied photographs until her eyes hurt. 8 victims. 8 lives. 8 birthdays. Then suddenly, she stopped. Daniel. What? The jobs. What about them? Flexible schedules. He frowned. So, they lived alone. Okay. They traveled alone. Still okay. And they all stopped at grocery stores. Daniel blinked. What? Rachel pointed to receipts. Security reports. Witness statements. Within 48 hours before disappearing. Daniel stared. Everybody goes grocery shopping. Exactly. And where do people relax? He thought. Restaurants. Coffee shops. Stores. Suddenly Daniel understood. He watches. Rachel nodded. He studies routines. Public places. Places where no one remembers faces. Daniel exhaled slowly. Our guy's patient. Very patient. At Mercer Automotive, Ethan struggled to focus. A customer repeated a question. Ethan? He blinked.
Sorry.
You okay? Just tired. Need a vacation. He forced a smile. Maybe. But vacations meant change. And Ethan hated change. Change created unpredictability. Unpredictability created danger. By 3 o'clock, he closed the shop early. Something he almost never did. His employees exchanged puzzled looks. Everything all right, boss? Family stuff.
A lie.
But easy lies came naturally. They always had. That evening, Emily Carter walked Max around the neighborhood. As they passed Ethan's house, Max stopped. Completely stopped. He stared at Ethan's garage, then growled. Emily frowned. Max. The dog refused to move. Come on. Another growl.
Stronger this time.
Ethan emerged from the garage. Everything okay? Emily laughed awkwardly. Apparently my dog thinks he's a security guard. Ethan smiled. Dogs are strange.
Much barked.
Loudly. Emily apologized.
Sorry.
No problem. His voice remained calm, friendly, normal. But as she walked away, Emily glanced back. Ethan was watching them, standing perfectly still. And for reasons she couldn't explain, a chill ran down her spine. Later that night, Rachel returned home. Olivia waited in the kitchen. Mom. Hey. You remembered. Rachel smiled.
Dinner.
A miracle. Olivia laughed, then noticed her mother's expression. What's wrong? Rachel sat down. I think we're running out of time. Olivia frowned. Because patterns don't stop. And people like him? She hesitated. Eventually they need to act. Olivia reached across the table. Then catch him. Rachel smiled. I plan to. Near midnight, Ethan stood in front of the basement door. His hand rested on the keypad. He didn't move. For several minutes, he simply stood there. Then slowly, he entered the code. The steel door unlocked. The room beyond glowed beneath fluorescent lights. Everything remained organized.
Perfect.
Boxes, labels, memories, control. He stared at the newest box. Lauren Bennett. For the first time in years, he felt anger. Not at the victims. Not at himself. At the world. At change. At uncertainty. At people asking questions. His breathing quickened. Then suddenly, he slammed the lid shut. The sound echoed through the room. Silence followed. Deep silence. And then, he heard something. A noise upstairs. Ethan froze. His heartbeat stopped. Another sound. Footsteps. Someone was inside the house. Slowly, he reached for the light switch. Every instinct screamed. Every thought vanished. For 15 years, nobody had entered his world. Nobody. And now, someone was upstairs. Moving. Waiting. Listening. Ethan held his breath. And for the first time since becoming the man he had become, he was terrified.